Hey, Crew and Nikki. So this is my tarp tent. Yesterday, Sarah got home from being up in Pullman for the weekend. And I'm going backpacking with Brad and Isaac and others this coming weekend. And so went to bed early because I've been really sick. I don't know if I made a video about that, but
you got me sick too.
Yeah, Garrett's getting sick now too. He's whining about it. But so Sarah got home and I got my pack all together and everything, and I've got my camping hammock. And I suddenly had this thing, like we went to bed early because I was tired. I've been sick. And so 9:30, go to bed. And suddenly I start thinking, there aren't any trees down there, and not a lot of trees anyway. What happens if I can't pitch my hammock? And I was like, I can just sleep on the ground. I'll just put down a tarp. It'll be fine. Not a lot of bugs this time of year. And then I started thinking, well, what if it's raining? That's really going to suck. And so I get up, 10 o'clock or whatever, get on the internet, and sure enough, it's supposed to rain all 3 days we're there. And I'm like, oh, crap, what am I going to do? And so I go back to bed. And I'm like, well, I'll worry about it tomorrow. Got to get some sleep. Well, of course, midnight, I'm still not asleep. So I get up and I start looking on YouTube for, alternatives for tarps and stuff. I started looking at different videos on YouTube, and I see this one tarp tent that's that's sold by somebody or other, and it you hold it up with one trekking pole, and I'm thinking, I bet I can make that out of the Tyvek that Brad just gave me. And so then, of course, my brain is like, ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk. And so I go back to bed, and I could not sleep. And it was like 3:30 in the morning before I finally fell asleep. So I slept from 3:30 till 8 and got up and started, and I had all this stuff in my head. So I started trying to figure out how to make this tarp tent. So that's what I've been working on today. And I'm going to flip the camera around now and show you what I've been doing. So this is my tarp tent. The idea here is that, what I did was I figured out what shape I needed. And essentially it's going to be a sort of a pyramid shape. And the back from here to here is 8 feet. This from here to here is 3 feet. And that will come up to here where the pole will go. So I'll stake it down in the corners and probably in the middle in the back. And then up here and then a line will come off here to hold the pole up. And the idea is that these will actually be at right angles to one another. So the footprint will be 3 foot by 8 foot. And then these here will be essentially closures on the front. And I made them big for now. I may actually trim them back because I may decide that they're more extensive than I want. But at this point, I could put these out and they'll come out about 6 inches past the front of the tent. If I want to do that, I can kind of hook them to the line that's holding the front of the tent pole. So I'll try to set it up in the yard and see how it works. But what I'm going to do now, so what I actually did to do this, first I downloaded some drafting software off the internet and I drew it up. And then I figured out what the measurements were and how I was going to make it. So I drew it up in 3D online or on this using SketchUp or whatever it's called. And then I measured the distances, and then I cut it out and made a little, actually I made a little small form of it. And then I decided that in order to make it really symmetrical and make it work, it would be best if I did it, I folded it in half and measured everything one time and cut it and then spread it out. And that's what I did. So you can see this fold line down the middle. I had this other side actually folded underneath. And then I only had to measure these 3 cuts. And I taped it all down on the floor, and Gareth helped me cut it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually take some clear duct tape, and actually I'm going to split it down the middle, so I don't want the full width of it for reinforcement. I want half of it, and I'm going to run it down all the main tension points. So from here to there, from here to that corner, from here to that corner, and so on and so forth. And actually what I'm going to do, the other thing that I can do, I think I'm going to do this before I tape it, before I put the reinforcement, is if you take Tyvek, like here's some Tyvek, and when you can see when it's fresh, it's really loud, it's crinkly, it doesn't move well, it's not very soft. You can actually take it and run it through the washing machine. Actually, this is some that I did that too. I ran this through the washing machine, and you just run it through. Actually, I ran it through the washing machine. I threw a couple of old boots in there with it, and towels with no soap, and it softens it up. And then I threw it in the dryer with no heat, and did the same thing there. So I'm going to do that with this, and then after that, I'm going to pull it out and tape it to the floor again, and put the reinforcement tape on. And then I'll use duct tape to make loops on the corners as well to connect to. And actually, I have these front flaps. I actually have some Velcro sticky. And what I'm going to do, actually, I was thinking about was take, and if I do it right, I can set these up so I can put Velcro sticky on them, so that they'll close in the front, or I can fold them back and they'll tack back against the sides at various points to create a little more space. It actually worked. So it's made out of a piece of Tyvek, reinforced with duct tape along these seams here, and it's a little tiny shelter, and it weighs exactly a pound. And look what's going on inside of it. Yeah. So I think actually this will work if I have to sleep in it on my trip. It is sort of the Ku Klux Klan of tents, I must say. It's a little bit disconcerting, but yeah, it's. I'm actually pretty pleased with the way it came out. I think it's going to work. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a little Velcro on these to close them, and this front line that comes down, I could set a little bit closer in, and then just close them around it, and it'll give you a little more space in there. But yeah, and the little mini tarp that Taryn's sitting on there I bought at Walmart for $10. It's a nylon. I don't think it's waterproof, but it's water resistant. It should work for a ground tarp as long as we're not submerged. And I also have another piece of Tyvek. So yeah, pretty cool. Huh, Taryn? Yeah. Yeah, so the one thing about this, right, Taryn, is that the stuff in the corners, I suspect that if you got a really strong wind, this isn't going to hold up. It's going to fall apart. But considering that buying one of these, if you were to buy one of these, like made of Cuban fiber, they're very expensive. I don't know what you're saying in Welsh, young man. What did you say?
It's just going to fall down?
It's going to fall down? That's what you asked me?
Yep.
It might fall down if the wind were strong enough. But yeah, I think actually I'm really pleased. I can't believe it kind of came out so well. So yeah, that's the tarp tent, and it weighs in just under a pound, and it's obviously it's real small. It's that big, and so I actually talked to Brad tonight, and I'm gonna use it. This is my pack actually. Everything that I need is packed in there. Those are the clothes I'll be wearing, but everything else is packed in here, and it weighs in at just under 19 pounds. So I'm actually pretty happy about that. I realized that ultralight backpackers who try to get their packs under 12 pounds base weight, or even super ultralight, which try to get under 5 pounds, I think. I'm nowhere near that. But I think it's going to be comfortable and an easy hike with this. So, yeah, pretty excited.
I like it.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.